welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about and do all sorts of things music-y. Today I'm doing a little video which is for Walt, but it's going to be for anybody else who is interested in this as well. It's about how do I get music from here, my record player, into my computer. And he's asked specifically because he's got the same turntable as I have, or very similar one, and he kind of gets the idea of it, but it'd be really nice to sort of have a bit of a walkthrough of how we do it. So it doesn't really matter what turntable you have, you still have options. But I think first and foremost, you need to remember you need to take the sound from here through wires and get them into your computer. And you can still do it in the old-fashioned way. You obviously send it to your amplifier and listen to it in real time like that. But obviously, if you've got a large record collection and you want to digitize it, or to archive it, or to use it to make videos with on YouTube, heaven forbid, then you need to work out a way to do it. So first and foremost, probably the easiest way is to have a cable like this, depending on what your computer is able to do. So you've got a couple of RCA plugs, I call them phono plugs, and it goes to like a headphone socket type of thing. Now if I hold this on this camera, you might be able to see it a bit better. So you've got your phono plugs there and your headphone sockety type thing there. And it's all dependent on whether your computer has got a line in. Lots of computers do, mine doesn't. So this is I'm not able to use this method for what I do, but it is an option. It's an option that you can use. So that's option number one. Option number two is maybe a little bit more complicated in that you need an audio interface with your computer, but it's just using a standard set of phono leads. So you've got balanced, or not balanced, are they? They're just phono leads. You've got right and left, going to right and left. And you plug one end of it into your record player, and the other end into your sound. You don't have sound cards anymore, do you? What are they? Mine's an audio interface. But again, I don't use this method. And I use method number three, which is this. It's a USB cable. But I do it in a slightly different way from the way that you are probably thinking. This record player, which is an Audio Technica, it's what's it called? It's an ATLP 120X USB. So it very conveniently has a USB port on the back of it. How did it have this one? So it's one of these sort of squarish ones that you see on the backs of printers and other peripherals and things like that. And it goes to a standard USB-B port here. So you could use that method. I use something slightly differently. So it's a combination of two of what we have just looked at. So I have a standard phono leads going out of my turntable, and they go into a little preamp which I've got underneath here. Because obviously you might, well, you know, you're not obviously, a record is not loud enough to be heard by a standard amplifier, so you need a preamplifier to boost the signal. This record player, very handily, already has a preamp in it, but you can bypass it. There's a little switch on the back, you can sort of turn it on or off. So I bypass it, and I then have the signal come out through the normal phono leads, but go to a little preamp I've got down here. It's a Riga preamp, which in itself has a USB output on it. Very handily. So I get the quality of this preamp, plus I get the convenience of USB to then plug this into the back of my computer, the side of the computer, into my USB hub. So that's part number one. Part number two is you need your computer to be able to understand what your audio is, what's going into it, how to listen to it. Because obviously on a standard stereo system, you just plug it in, you turn the switch to phono, and you play your records, Bob's your uncle, sound comes out of the speakers. It's not quite that simple on a computer. You can plug it in, but you're not going to hear anything because it's not a hi-fi, it's not a stereo system. So there are a few little things that you need to do along the way, and it involves getting a bit of software. I've got a Mac, and most of the time, just for convenience sake, I use a piece of software which is pre-installed called QuickTime, and it's very useful. It's very quick and dirty. There's no bells and whistles. It's not very in depth. It just literally does what you need it to do. It will record audio coming in as long as you select the audio input as being a USB. And so on here, there is, when you click on the little down arrow next to the record button, and you'd go to, well, no, first of all, open QuickTime, go to New Audio Recording, and turn the volume up halfway. It gives you a whole bunch of options. So these first ones are all to do with attached peripherals. So I've got webcams, I've got monitors, as in computer screens. It's probably picking up my iPhone there somewhere. I've got down here Scarlett 18i20 USB, which is my audio interface. And then below that is USB audio codec, and that's the one you need to select. So you select that. It's not very elegant, but it kind of works. You just have this running in the background. You don't have to record, you just leave it there, so it's in standby mode, ready to record. And then anything you play on here, so if I put this record on, it will then start playing it. You've woken from a nice cold dream. The alternative piece of software, which a lot of people use, and I do use, I've started to use this more and more, is Audacity. Now, Audacity is a hugely complicated beast. It's way more complicated than perhaps you need, because it's a fully fledged audio editing suite. No, it's not a suite, it's just a massive piece of software, and it can record anything going into the computer, and you can then manipulate it in 1,000 ways. You can use effects on it, you can use compression, you can use dynamics, you can split tracks up, you can number them, you can add your own metadata onto stuff. You can also incorporate samples and all that sort of build up sort of whole multi-layered tracks. So it's kind of like getting towards being a digital audio workstation, but it's not great at that. But what it is very good at doing is recording audio, and you can record it and then output it into brilliant high quality. So you can output it into FLAC or to WAV, whereas the QuickTime tends to be just a very sort of quick and dirty MP3 or the Apple equivalent of that. So in Audacity, there are a couple of things we need to do. So when you first open up the piece of software, you're presented with a screen like this. Now you need to go to do a couple of things to make this work. So come down to Preferences, and so you come down to Preferences, or it might be Settings on Windows, I'm not sure, but it's the same sort of thing. You should you get a whole lot of different options available to sort of play around with. If you go to Recording, you need to click on, so enabling audio input monitoring. So you'll hear what's being played. So click OK. And then you need to also probably go to Audio Settings and make sure that your device for recording is your USB audio codec again. So same as it was with the QuickTime. So that way, now if we play the record, it'll be going out from here on the phono cables into the little preamp. The preamp is splitting it so it can go back out of phonos into my amplifier so I can listen to it on the speakers, or it's sending it via, it's sending it, sorry, via the USB to the computer. So it is now being picked up here. So click OK. You've got both those set. Then one final little set thing you have to do is in the meters up here, you've got recording level and playback level. If you hover your mouse over the top of recording level, right click in there, enable silent monitoring. And now when you play stuff, you'll be able to hear it. Now you can record, obviously, you press record and it'll record it, but you don't need to. You can actually get the audio to come through just by playing it now. So if I test that again, pop that down there, you can see on the meters there that we have music coming through. And that's kind of it. What I will say is when I make the videos and I use audio from the record player, I always record it. I don't just play it and listen to it in the background. I'm recording it because I want the audio file to then be able to import into my video project and to mix it in with the microphone that I'm talking into now, and to mix it in with the video that is being recorded on the camera here, some on the camera over here, and whatever else I'm using. So I've got all these elements together. So in that eventuality, I'm going to record what I'm doing and I'll put it in one big long side of music. I'm not going to split it up, so I do it like that. But of course, I save all those vinyl rips that I've done, because that then means that anything that I've got over here in the record collection that I don't have on CD, I now have digitally, and I can incorporate that into my digital library, which is housed in here, and I can listen to anywhere I like. So there we go. I don't know if that's very easy to understand, whether I'm explained it well enough for you to understand, but I hope I have. So you need to understand, you need to get audio from here. It gets converted into digital, probably via USB, or you can do it via the phono leads. I don't know how you get, you'd need to see, yeah, so phono leads would go into your audio interface, and you would need to then select your input on Audacity or on QuickTime as being whatever your audio interface is. It should have picked that up and recognised it. So anyway, you get your audio from there, travelling through the wire to the computer. The computer needs one of two pieces of software. There may be others out there I don't know about, but I only know about QuickTime and Audacity. Then using the settings that I've just shown you, you should then be able to hear what you're listening to. And you can then sort of put it through your speakers if you want to, if you've got a decent set of speakers with your computer, headphones if you're listening on there, or hopefully if you've got Bluetooth, you can project it to your Bluetooth headphones. But that's the way I do it. It might be a bit sort of elongated and a long way around of doing stuff, but it works for me. It's the way I've been doing it for a long, long time. I kind of have my workflow. It's just the easiest way for me to do it. And I'm doing it live. So when I'm listening to the music, I am actually playing the record at the same time I'm recording it and all the rest of it. So I'm not recording in advance and then sort of dropping it in. It is all done live. And yeah, that's it. I hope that's of use. And if you found any use in this, give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you're new here. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim. Over and out. Now, let's listen to some music. I'll let you know who this is. This is Magic Ease. There we go.
You come up with answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought to be acting like pigs, that's acting like people, and moving on pigs. That's what we got to do.
Just to show it actually does work.